Today's video is a recap session of my tournament results as well as the tournament championship. So I'm going to be doing a film breakdown on some plays, some things that happens, how players play, and all that good stuff when it comes to film study. But before I get into that, I want to give you guys a little bit of an insight of a soundbite of what went down during the tournament championship to give you guys a better idea of how amazing competitive scene is when it comes to these tournament play-in sessions that we have during the beta. It gets intense, it gets very competitive, and as well when it comes to strategy, this is what this game is going to be bringing to the table. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the soundbite from the tournament championship play-in.
Chill. Bet. Run. Yep.
That's a run.
Yep. Feel that.
Come
down. No.
Damn, he got it at it.
He broke.
Damn, that's
three.
crazy.
I got picked up.
Hey, no 2 point. I got
blocked.
That was good, dude.
Out of me. I'm gonna try to strafe and get him though. I got it. I strafe and got him. Outside, Harvey.
We
We
got
out
him
Harvey.
up.
We out Harvey.
Touchdown.
We out Harvey.
2 point. Lock in. Lock in 2 point. Lock in 2 point. Lock in 2 point.
Hey, first play lag. First play lag. Yes, sir.
3 stops. 3 stops.
I'm outside.
Come on.
Tackle.
2 stops.
That's my tackle.
We got
That's
it.
my tackle. Come here. Ooh, hold on. Wait a second. Why my player broken? My player broken. Get up.
Come on.
We over there. I got your help
stops.
on the right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, come on. Watch the run. We there.
Let's go.
DJ.
Ken, get over top. Get over top.
Oh, he stepped in.
DJ, that's you. Yes,
He
sir.
dropped it.
He dropped.
One touchdown. Let's get a touchdown here. Let's put up 6.
He dropped the baby.
Landing it.
Hand it. That's me right here.
Call it.
Not as you.
Call it. I got it. I got the block. Oh, I did. Oh yeah, Harvey.
Big hole. 2 point. 2 point.
What you doing?
Hey, I'm gonna keep it. Pick up.
Let's go. Hold down.
You pick him up. I'm coming.
Oh, so I got to the bed though. We good. Oh, break the ball.
He's running.
He's up.
Yeah.
Keep it. I'm gonna keep it. Pick up.
I got your block. I got your block.
That's game.
Get the fuck off my. This shit my shit, nigga. Come on. I got it.
Where's our tax team? Shut the fuck up, nigga.
No, Looney Tunes.
Who said?
Get that money.
What's
What's tomorrow?
I'm a champion.
Y'all
I'm a
know.
champion.
Let's get one.
I'm a champion. Talking about 1B champ. Talking about 1B champ. I'm a champ. Where's that?
Hold on, I gotta put on some. I gotta put on some. Young boy.
I want to be champ, nigga. Shut up talking to me, nigga.
Oh no, talk your shit, huh? Pop your shit, huh?
I lost my luck.
Fucking emotion is on the wrong
Bud.
side.
Shut up, you suck. You just mad because you lost.
And that top.
You mad because you lost. Take that L. Take that L, nigga. Take that L. Take that L.
I'm fine.
What you want, man?
Nigga, you keep on crying about, oh, you're on different team.
Yo, what you want, man?
Crybaby ass, nigga.
But she
Y'all
still going, bro.
Listen to y'all.
And guys, that is not even the craziness that I have ever heard. I mean, that's just a little bit of what had to be offered from the championship win. But I think I need to start recording my sessions as well, because you guys get to hear the whole gameplay and strategy when I'm trying to line my players up and telling them what to do. And you guys get to hear everything that goes down from a strategic team communication standpoint and much more. I also forgot to capture some of the moments from the losing point of view, just hearing the reactions from the players bashing each other teammates, calling out why, so-and-so missed a block, or why is he not doing this, and all that stuff that happens from a losing standpoint. So I need to step up my game trying to get those sound bites for you guys, so I'll try to capture it more often. But yeah, shout out to all the competitors during this weekend test session for the tournament event. That is more to come as always. I think they're going to try to do it every single week, so weekly tournaments is going down, and of course they're still inviting new players weekly. So if you guys want a chance to participate in any of the beta playtest sessions, check out the links down below in the description. Go and join right now the waiting room Discord for ESG Football and follow the steps on the application process. Now, this was the first time that we done a lottery draft, and this was the first time that I wasn't team captain. So I was drafted onto a team, and that's how the teams was being put together for this tournament session. So there was new players that was able to be team captains, but I was trying my best to let the team captain do his thing, trying to put the team together and direct everybody what positions and roles to play and things of that sort. But it seemed like I was still taking over as that part. I mean, I was giving a helping hand as much as I can, but I was trying to limit myself from doing that specific role as basically a team leader, team captain ordeal. So this tournament, we started off great and then had a rough ending, and of course we got eliminated. Now, for some reason, these past couple of tournaments, the teams that I've been on, we have everything structured out for like the regular season play-in, the first day kicking off tournaments, and then it's like the next day we lose all the starters. We don't have the starters playing from the previous day. On the next day, we have fill-ins that come in, and it's just not the same. The chemistry is not there because they didn't really get to practice with us as well, or we couldn't lab together as a team, and it kind of just messes up everything. And then that would basically end up changing the player roles and positions, and that's where everything just falls apart. And that's what happened to us. So we did have like a bye week, so we had a long wait, and then it's like by the time I came back, I guess the team themselves changed positions, which I didn't know about. And then we got into the game, and one of the players had a terrible build, which kind of glitched up everybody else to play out of their, regular positions that we already had assigned. So, for instance, like lineman was being at safety, linebacker was being at cornerback, and it just messed up the whole thing that we already established as a team. So yeah, that's frustrating when that happens. And then of course the availability of people. I know people got lives, but when people say that they're going to be available for both days and then it comes to the next day, especially when we get into the playoffs where those games literally matter, and then they say, oh, I can't be available anymore, and then we don't really have backups because people think they're not going to be able to play, and then they don't hop on to fill in. It just messes up the whole thing overall. So without further ado, I want to go over some of the plays that happened during the championship game, as well as scheme wise, and then how players, played against it, what happened, and then also some things that happened during the games that I played in, and give you guys a rundown of that stuff. So without further ado, let's get right into film study. So taking a look at this first play, the championship team is the red dots, the opposing losing team is the yellow dots. So a lot of people, basically the meta play has been pretty much just the RPO option plays. So for those that don't know, the RPOs is where you can hand it off and run it with the running back, keep it with the quarterback and take off, or you can end up passing it downfield to a block and release to a route run by the receiver. And everybody does this. Now, Bummy's team, the championship team that won in the tournament, this is basically all he done was the 2-2-3 wide defense. Now, in this defense, he has everybody blitzing. It's just an engage 4, deep, middle, third, but everybody else is blitzing. It's an all-out blitz, but because there's user-controlled players, they can fake blitz and lurk into zones. But on this particular play, the DNs end up pinching, linebackers come a little bit up, but they don't get into the barrier zone. The barrier zone is a red line that goes across the line of scrimmage where if players try to blitz, they are held for a few seconds before being able to go into the backfield. So outside of this barrier line of scrimmage zone, corners can blitz off the edge without having to be blocked by a barrier for a few seconds and just can come free into the backfield. So the corners would play up on the line, play outside that barrier, and it's just depending on who's going to end up coming through. They would communicate on who should go, but basically it's just IQ. Some people will blitz, fake blitz, and lurk back out to a flat, and most of the quarterbacks will throw it quickly because they feel the pressure, and that will result in an interception. Same thing for these backers. They do the same thing, but they will come up and try to glitch out the line from picking up the ends where they're able to freely bypass the line of scrimmage without being, blocked by the barrier. So during this play, they ended up handing it off on the option. So this player was picked up, this player was picked up. Somehow during all this blocking, because the barrier happened, these players, the linebackers, could not engage because the line of scrimmage barrier. So the first person comes off the edge, running back breaks the tackle, and right when he broke the tackle, because these guys are engaged in the block, they're blocked by the barrier, there is no animation that has a collision physics aspect. So ball carriers right now can just run through engaged blocks and just run directly through players and break free. And that's what happened during this play. So after a broken tackle happens, running back was able to take off. Now, after the quarterback handed off the ball, he comes up and ends up blocking pretty much the only person to make a play on this after the running back bypasses through all the engage animation blocks and breaks free for a huge touchdown run. So that's a big thing that happened during this game. Pretty much the championship winners, that's all they did. They just ran the ball, and basically they had great teammates that can block, and they just used that to advantage, bypass the engagement blocks, and break free. As long as they got blocks, they was able to dominate by running the simplest, RPO or just basic option plays to dominate. Flipping sides on this play, same thing. Championship team is going to be yellow dots, opposing team. Losing team is going to be red dots on this. But it was just a basic option play. So QB can hand it off to the running back, or QB can keep it and roll it out. Now, on this particular play, the defense was running a 3-1-3 defense. So 3 down linemen, 3 DBs, 1 linebacker. Cornerback ends up coming up. Now, I'm not sure what exactly play that they was running. I'm guessing it was cover 3. But basically, what happened during this play, the D tackle moves over, but the DN to the right, just in case if the quarterback keeps it, this would be occupied by a block by the right guard, right tackle. DN will come free and can pick up the quarterback if he keeps it. This lineman stayed right here, so he's going to be one-on-one with the left guard. Center has to end up picking up the linebacker or figure out who he's going to choose, but on certain option plays, linemen will automatically have like a strafing animation before they're able to user control and free flow their player to pick up anybody that they want. So they have to do this like slide over animation before being able to move wherever. But during the defense pre-play, the linebacker ends up coming over the slot as if he was going to play man. Safety comes over as well to play the left outside receiver because this corner wants to end up blitzing off the edge. So during this play, handoff happens to the running back. Slot receiver ends up going to the linebacker. For some odd reason, this is where a lot of DBs don't play discipline or play to their role. During the play, the safety ends up biting over here, and because of that, the outside receiver ends up picking up the cornerback, and this will lead to basically the running back to be free. But because this linebacker came over and got blocked by the slot receiver, literally this center comes over because he has nobody to block and gets upfield because he was in this automatic animation. He pulls over, the engaged block right here comes following with the running back, and pretty much he was the only person to block anybody that ended up trailing over top in the angle, and running back was free. So this was just great play by like the users themselves to make this possible based off what happened during this play. I think the key person right here was the safety that ended up for some reason getting fake out and trying to play a backside QB keep. Because the QB is so deadly, a lot of people try to focus on the QB and they don't stay disciplined to what their assigned roles is. And that's why team communication is big in ESG football. As far as plays being ran, there wasn't too much from Bummy's team. I mean, they just ran back-to-back same plays. They do a 1-2 punch or a 1-2-3 punch before going back to the same play that they initially ran. So back to the same exact option play that they ran earlier, same defensive setup and a 3-1-3, but this time safety comes hovering over, corner stays back as if they're playing man coverage. The right DN goes off the right tackle, cornerback comes over, So I'm guessing they was in man coverage because usually this DB would be manned up with the running back, and then it's just the DB's manned up and you have the linebacker blitzing. So on this specific play, they pretty much matched this offense well. And on this play, QB hands it off to the running back. The left guard center picks up the one-on-one matchup, and this linebacker done a very good job. He comes up into the gap, and he's right here to make a tackle. Now, I've seen this done a lot of times in the championship match and just in general. When people get right here, they will continue to hold turbo, and because of that, they would just run right through the ball carrier. In this game, you cannot be doing that. You can't expect to just hold turbo and magically get snapped into an animation like Madden and College Football and bring down anybody. You have to user control and respond correctly. So you have to use strafe and, break down in conservative tackle or big hit, whatever you choose to do. But that is what helps you make most of these tackles. And during this play, the linebacker just ends up holding turbo and runs directly past the running back. And because of that, running back just goes upfield, easy touchdown. And this happened a lot in just that game alone. And it's crazy to see how well certain plays that this defense that lost in championship had so many moments where they was in the backfield to stop the simplest play that they was running, but yet they never broke down and tackled the quarterback or running back or whoever was the ball carrier during that specific play. And that was frustrating for me to watch, because to see so many people do this, it just kills them. And then they complain about the game when it's literally their fault. Now, of course, yes. Basically, for us, we're so used to with Madden where we can just hold turbo and magically get sucked into a tackle animation. We don't have to actually make a tackle response to make a user tackle. We just get scripted into one and we get computer assistance. But in ESG Football, that's not the case. And that was the biggest game changer in this game because, even though running backs can run through blocks, a lot of people, when it's like one-on-one, let's say they get, block right here. He breaks free, runs through the block animations, and it's one-on-one. Usually some people would do the cut, fake them out, whatever, but some people, or even at an angle, they just run and they keep holding turbo and just run right through them every single time. And I've seen it done so many times. So the next play is a little bit crazy, but the same concept. Basic option RPO play. Now this was done for a 2-point conversion or a touchdown in the red zone. So they was within like 2 or 3 yards. Same defense, championship teams, the yellow dots on this play. So basically, on this play, the linebacker will hover over here outside the red line of scrimmage so he can blitz off the edge. This DB ends up backing off a little bit. Safety comes down to fill where the linebacker is supposed to be at, and he's going to cover if the running back comes off, breaks the tackle, would be right there to make a stop. Now, basically, this corner is one-on-one with this receiver. And he also has a choice to figure out what he's going to do, stay in the block or stick with this receiver. But a great thing happens right here with this right defensive end. He hovers over this way because he knows on the option play, these guys are automatically in a animation to go this way before they're able to free flow the block. So he figured that out, and he can just get around and come off to contain the quarterback if he does keep on option play. So during this play, the running back gets faked and he's going to end up blocking this linebacker coming off the edge. This was just a great IQ play by the running back. QB does keep the ball, but the fact that this guy picks up this blitzing cornerback was great because that goes to show football IQ, great blocking, and user responsiveness. Now, this guy does get kind of faked out, but once again, he's blocked by this barrier within certain yardage. If he's like back here, he won't have a red ring around him where he can just blitz up the gap. But if he's like this close, he have red ring and he's kind of having that, seconds to, break free through the line of scrimmage. But After this fake happens, this DN comes right through, and he should have an easy tackle. Now, here's another thing that I'm kind of like frustrated with the mechanics. Sometimes, if you're facing a QB that has no bruiser skill set, he has no carrying or break tackle ratings, and you're facing against a guy that has tackling ratings, for the most part, the guy should make this tackle 100% of the time. But I guess there's other factors where this is not possible at times, and or just BS happens, but the quarterback does break this tackle. Now, for this play, what it showed during the pre-play, it was just RPO, these two receivers kind of fake block and do like a corner route. Kind of odd play to run in the red zone, right? But as this play develops, this receiver on the left ends up coming over as a drag route, which was pretty smart because this receiver, he didn't go out for a pass. He stayed and blocked because the QB kept the ball. So the QB told him that he's going to keep it, and this receiver needs to stay on this block. So as the quarterback was breaking this sack, tackle, whatever you want to call it, he got a little bit life. So guy's thrown over here. He continues. The thing is, this guy ends up coming off the edge, chasing the quarterback down, and then he gets broken off as well. And because of that, at this point in time, this guy's still getting blocked. This guy, he kind of stops right here as he was trailing this receiver, thinking that the play was dead. So he just, stopped playing. And because of that, while this guy was still getting blocked, quarterback got off that second broken tackle and throws an easy touchdown pass to that drag receiver. So you have moments like that where there's just BS moments where somebody that should make a tackle should make it, but then it's just plays being made, and that happens a lot of times in ESG football. So breaking down another play, I wish I was able to physically show you guys like for the visual aspect of these plays during the tournament, but of course where I signed an NDA I can't. So this is the best way I can showcase it to you guys. So once again, they done the same play, and this was later on in the game, and they just flipped it. So same concept, just option, can hand it off or keep it with the quarterback, but this time it's not RPO, so it's just a basic option play. Defense is still in a 3-1-3. Now these two guys kind of shift over just a tad bit. This DN stays here. And basically, for some reason, this safety comes here. I guess he was trying to match up with the running back. Corners here, corners here. And basically, they hand it off again. Now, during that game, all their runs was so effective just because how the blocks were from these individual players. So they didn't really pass the ball the entirety of this match. So as the ball carrier gets the ball, this guy ends up getting blocked right here, which is kind of weird because he has this, get off to the right animation, but he gets sucked into this block. This DN comes off the edge, so he's right here to make this play. This center, he ends up coming over, doesn't really get him, but for some reason, this guy ends up thinking that he's going to cut up. He ends up turboing this way, doesn't strafe down or anything. He just turbos this way, right into the block. Running back ends up just going right around him. And that's just the user responsiveness. Like, that's how quick things can happen based off your choice and decision, what you end up doing. But like I said, this happens a ton of times. So of course, gets a block right here. Now, this guy ends up coming to contain the quarterback. Quarterback done a good job at fake keeping, but for those that don't know, the play action camera in this game fakes the hell out of you based off the quarterback's ratings and your pursuit and handoff ball recognition. You can get faked out so bad just because how the camera pans. So of course he attacks the quarterback. This corner ends up making a great play, coming over, avoiding this receiver to block. Receiver is trying to find somebody to block between the two. Running back gets right here, and once again, this guy has the best chance to make this play because this receiver gets blocked, or the corner gets blocked by the receiver. This guy that came over from here makes a great angle, but he ends up holding turbo instead of breaking down. runs right past him. Running back didn't even make a move or anything. He just went up here. Right when he passed him, his reaction was so slow, he ends up cutting after the fact once this guy bypasses him. And then you have a block right here that happens, but by the time he cuts, it slows him down. One of these players disengage, and he ends up breaking like 3 or 4 of these guys that ends up, chasing him down. He's slowed down by the break tackles. And by like this guy, after he block sheds, he makes a tackle, causes a fumble, but the quarterback ends up being right there to recover it. And you have a lot of times where those BS moments happen. This running back or somebody can break so many tackles, you can cause a fumble, and then it's like you don't have anybody else to recover, and then they just get lucky to recover the ball back. And this was the championship team, the Yellow Dots, that made that play. So all because one person, or actually 2 people, did not break down, you can have results like that. But they done a good job decently to stop it from them breaking free. So another defense that Bummy likes to showcase, I mean, it's the same concept, but you get a little bit more coverage. So he has another defensive formation where it shows a cover 2 look. You have that wide set, and the cornerbacks will come down and either blitz off the edge or fake blitz and lurk a flat route. Just because the quarterback, he would feel pressure from either side or both sides, it would force him to tell somebody to stay back and block. He would end up stepping up in the pocket. And sometimes the line, they would try to adjust so they can slide protect. So, for instance, if the running back's going to stay and block the right side corner, he can, literally fake blitz, stay back, which would mess up the blocking assignment by the running back. Then the line can say, oh, left tackle, I'm trying to get that cornerback that's blitzing off the edge. Center will have to make up for the DN coming off. And then quarterback, stepping up in the pocket, he's met by the QB spy. So it's very effective what, everybody else does as a team for this specific play that Bummy runs for his defense. Now, even if, this is picked up, this guy ends up blitzing as well, or he can fake it. The center doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know if he needs to go up to block because the quarterback's going to take off, or, kind of linger out and try to pick up this blitzing cornerback. So there's so many situations that people have to figure out what they're going to do based off, quarterback's reads and what he wants them to do to help him out to make simple adjustments. And that's why I say playing quarterback is the toughest thing to do, because when facing a bunch of users on defense, you can probably have a preset read look, but it depends on, if these people are going to run the routes that's given by the play art. Some people won't even run those routes, and they will mess up your read to end up throwing a quick pass or so. I had that happen so many times, and it's like, bro, by the time I'm, taking one step back and you're messing up the route by not running the play art, and you do some stupid stuff, I can throw a quick pass to the left side to the cornerback who can fake blitz and pick off, that quick pass to the flat. So there's just so much that happens, especially facing his defense. But, from looking at it, this is the simplest defense to beat. So here's another thing that happened when I did play him. Now, any play is possible depending on how your teammates play. And, I try to make it very simple for my team to pick up certain key blocks. So just against this defense alone, it's not the hardest to beat, but my teammates, the people that I play with, made it so difficult. So here's this formation. It's just a simple pistol tight or single back tight formation, right? I mean, you look at it, it's basic, right? How everything's lined up should be easy to run anything. So you can do like a up the gut run, or a stretch run, toss play, or a bootleg play, keep by the quarterback, as long as these guys can make their blocks. And this was shown so many times when I was facing Bummy's team. And or if I end up passing, you can have a level concept. You can have a drag route with a post, and vice versa. You can flip it, things of that sort. So out of this formation, which is the simplest formation that I was trying to run for my teammates to make basic key blocks to make this possible, I mean, that was the only thing why my team was getting beat by this. And there's other formations and a bunch of different play concepts that, from a football IQ standpoint, that I pick from to beat this simple as defense. But the thing that just made it struggling for me and my teammates was that my line, for some reason, had the hardest time blocking the person directly in front of them. I'm not sure if, these guys was better than them, but there was times where they just ran right through them. And I'm guessing that, the button function to engage a block didn't work. I'm not sure what the case is, but that's what was happening when I was facing Bummy's team every time. And it didn't matter who he had. It was regardless of who I had on offense, would just never engage in these blocks. And the guys would just run right through them and sack me or tackle the running back in the backfield. And it was so frustrating having that happen. I was like, bro, it's not that hard to block. There's times where I'm put at receiver and sometimes I glitch up at the offensive line position. And I'm like, bro, I can easily block this guy without an actual blocking lineman. And I didn't understand why it's so difficult for people to actually engage in the block. So that's what was happening to me just in general, not just from Bummy's team, but playing anybody in general. My line would never block key people that end up just going right through them and sack me. And then I get called for being a trash quarterback. Like, bro, I expect you to make this block. It shouldn't be that hard. I also have times where if I'm like just in the backfield and the running back says, just hit me on a quick pass, I do that, but they don't realize that these players are actually smart and they would fake blitz and then cover you because they know that they have no help to cover the running back, right? Based off whatever formation and play that they pick, they're going to end up making that smart decision move. And they always complain why I don't do that. That's the sole fact for the purpose of playing smart players. Now, of course, I will probably have like a double receiver concept where, I will have a flat and then a streak route and then probably a drag coming across. So if he does get picked up by the fake blitz, then I'll have a backside or so. And it's not difficult for me to make one person miss, right? So all I got to do is, fake step up, cornerback will come, and all I got to do is do like a baseball turn and scramble out because he's holding turbo to get to me. They never break down to strafe tackle me. That's where you play elite quarterbacks that can do things like that. But a lot of people don't acknowledge that type of stuff when, I'm trying to tell them what to do, what routes and all that communication stuff when it comes to football IQ knowledge. So I'm going to leave you guys off with this last concept and then my take on what I've been experiencing at quarterback as well. So here's another thing that I face. So like I just showed you guys, for the times where I can't make a simple run up the gut, which should be basic, right? So let's say if I was in I formation, right, and it'd be looking like this. Because this defense, because how the edge pressure happens off the DBs where they don't have that barrier blocker or blockage, the fullback has to figure out what's he going to do. If he's going to poke out to one side to block, depending where the run's going to be. And, this running back makes a decision to go upfield, make a move on the backside blitzing. I mean, there's so much stuff that happens, right? But for a simple run up the gut on this play, you have to have your players block. And because I didn't have, too much confidence on my lineman to block, I had to sit in this formation and do, like a check down level concept. So you guys see it right here. This would be my check down pass. And then the cover 2 beater, right? Especially if this guy's in the QB spy for the most part. If I'm stepping up, he's going to leak up. And that's how I bait people and then, take off running, whatever. If I see this guy back off, take off. Or if he comes fakes, I have to take off this way. And, vice versa. If he blitzes, throw the quick check down pass. So there's so much things that I have to look at very quickly to happen, right? And that's why I say, playing quarterback is very difficult and a lot of people don't realize that. Now, another thing, what these concept routes, I can also do, basically have this guy do a post corner or a out route, depending on if I change up this guy to do, a streak or a post, and then have a backside, deep post or a quick slant, or a backside drag for a check down. So there's so much combinations I can do to beat cover 2 because I know how to beat it. It's just depending on these two blitzers, what they're going to do and all that good stuff. And, you know, I'm also dealing with pressure. Like the fact that my linemen that I didn't have confidence in after they couldn't block during the run, you know, it makes me more paranoid that are they going to be able to block on a pass play when it's just two rushers at the line of scrimmage, right? I mean, this center has to pick and choose if he's going to leak out to help, you know, pick up the corners, and then I just got to make a move on one of the DBs. But I had times where these guys fake blitz, they go off in the coverage, play cover 2, and then one of the linemen don't even block. So let's say he blocks, this guy would come directly through him and sack me. And this is how I get thrown off from everything. And then on top of that, it's the fact that you got to depend on these receivers to run the routes that's given in the play art or based off what you tell them. So let's say, you know, we get the basic concept, the drag, streak, and, you know, the post play, right? So let's say this guy runs a streak, he ends up running a post, but this guy ends up doing a streak too. I have so many times where one person does not listen and they're running together, and I'm already dictating where I'm going to try to throw the ball. So especially if it's a quick pass, you know, I'm anticipating him to run this drag and I'm throwing the ball. But because he runs a streak, I'm throwing the ball automatically and then it ends up getting picked off. So I have a lot of times where that happened just because people want to do their own thing. I get it. Yes, you might not get the ball. You don't like what you see. You want to do your own route. But for the most part, people got to listen to the quarterback. The quarterback is anticipating certain plays based off what they're seeing. So the receivers and everybody else can't do their own thing. The only other thing is that the line can make their adjustments, and then if the quarterback likes it, can keep it that way. And same thing for receivers. If they see something, it's just all team communication. And that's why ESG is so strategically sound, because when it comes to all these concept ideas and how quick things, you know, develop, it just comes down to who's going to communicate and do their job well. And everything's quick for decision making, just like real football. Anyways, guys, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Stay tuned for the grinding progression system. We just started testing that out. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and my review on it so far in the next one. Other than that, make sure you guys subscribe. Stay tuned by turning on the notifications for any future updates about ESG football and much more. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, especially for those that have been playing in the beta and the tournament and this past weekend playtest session. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.